I was asked to share how I communicate or check in with my students during remote learning. Before I share what I do, it's important for you to first know about the student population I work with so you can determine whether or not what I share is applicable to you. I teach in the teacher licensure program, preparing graduate students to be licensed special education teachers. The cap of my courses range from 10 to 30 students. Almost all our students work in schools full time. Depending on their school schedule, many of them rush to come to class. Depending on their school reopening plan, almost all of them have to teach in person and remote at the same time, since some families choose not to have their children return to school in person. So you can imagine how stressful it is for them to manage each of their lessons in both modalities. Clearly, there are various ways to check in and communicate with students, but I would like to emphasize that it has to be a two-way street, which means that both students and instructors must be willing to communicate and work with each other. Instructors can try to use various ways to communicate with students, but if students don't respond or do their part, then it doesn't work. And vice versa, when students need help and reach out to the instructors, but the instructors don't respond to students' email in a timely manner, that also doesn't work. During the first week of class, I ran a poll to survey my students' preference, such as if they like instructors to check in with them every once in a while. Since I learned that not all students like instructors to check in, some get stressed out when you do, since they think there's an issue, that's why you're checking in with them. Based on the information, I can determine what I can do to help facilitate their learning. Clearly, everyone has their own preference. I can only go by the majority vote. I made this very clear at the beginning of the poll. For the synchronous courses I teach, since I see the students more often, then I always dedicate a few minutes at the beginning of each session to check in with them. When teaching asynchronous courses, I give assignment feedback in Blackboard. I always leave a personal note to check in. This is also a time that I can offer my support. I also created optional monthly drop in support sessions. I made it optional because asynchronous courses don't have a fixed schedule meeting time. During each support session, half is dedicated to a specific topic that is related to what they would be expected to do in the upcoming month. The other half would be left for Q&A. I purposely schedule these sessions on different days of the week and at different times of the day. For those who don't attend the session, maybe because they just don't need the support, then I'll email them to check in. About halfway into the semester, I survey the students again. This is usually the time that they started to have more work to do in all the courses they take. So the types of support they need may be different from what they have previously shared with me. The survey usually includes two big categories. One is about them. I want them to take ownerships of their own efforts in the semester, so they will be asked to evaluate their own performance in the course. When they rate their performance poor, they will have to explain what prevents them from being successful and what they need to do to improve their performance. This would allow me to see why they're struggling. Sometimes I can help them solve the problem they encounter. In other times, the barriers are on their end that they need to try resolving them. But this opportunity actually helps them to acknowledge what the issues are so they can try to address them as soon as possible. Then, of course, I also ask them what I can do to better support them so I can make adjustments for the rest of the semester. Finally, this is something new that I'm experimenting this semester. Previously, I've created a discussion forum in Blackboard called Course Q&A. It is intended for peer-to-peer support. When students have course-related questions, they can pose it there and their classmates would answer them. The goal is to give them opportunity to connect and help each other. However, I noticed that students don't always respond to their classmates' questions. A few students told me that it's just a lot of work to log in and out of Blackboard. Recently, I learned about Pronto, a messenger app that UMass is piloting. Instructors and students can access Pronto through their phone and on the web. Since students use their phone more often than Blackboard, they can easily access the app and get notified when someone poses a question. Hope this can encourage them to help each other more and in a timely manner. All right, then good luck with your semester. Hope what I had shared can help you a bit. I'm willing to speak with you more if you prefer.